about it, ultimately. Good evening. All right. Hey, Diallo, while we're on the topic of IT, Jason Black said that FBA, Foundational Black Americans, have never been refugees. Black Americans haven't been driven across the country because of racist violence since 18. Why do y'all keep coming to me with that Jason Black? Is he even, man, fuck that dude, man. He blocked me years ago, and I was so happy to be done with that fucking ignorant dude. First of all, Foundational Black America don't mean a motherfucking thing. What the fuck is a foundational Black American? Because when Black people came here, we weren't fucking Americans. We didn't have citizenship status. Black people did not have citizenship status. We were chattel. We had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. And because we were chattel, there were no border regulations for the movement of African people. So you literally had entire lots of African people who were brought here from Africa. They docked in the Caribbean. They were processed and seasoned in the Caribbean. They were brought to the New World. There were whole slave trading lots who were basically lease Africans, lots of Africans. So they would come to the United States for the harvesting and processing season, gather them up, and then ship them off to the Caribbean to do some fucking cane, to work the cane plantation. And then those same Africans would be split up again and sent down to Latin and Central America to do mining work. All of us are the fucking same. Dr. John Henry Clark said the only difference between an African American, a Black Caribbean, and an Afro-Latino is a fucking boat stop. That's the only difference. So African people in the United States were literally playing musical chairs all over the North America, South and Central America, and the Caribbean. And then after, with the signing in the 1860s, with the signing of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, the Black people who were here at that time, out of sheer roll of the fucking dice, these crackers signed a sheet of paper and created African American through signing paper. The African American, foundational American, was not created through history, through culture, through the conscious, deliberate acts of our ancestors. It was created by a bunch of former slave owners who became who created a system of neo-slavery. So, and also America is not the United States. America is Canada, the United States, Mexico, Central American nation, and the Caribbean and South America. That's all. So foundational Black America means literally fucking nothing. It is just a self-hating title. It's a way to say I fucking hate people who look like me without having to acknowledge that. So first of all, fuck any Black person that embraces the title or the identity of foundational Black America. They are Uncle Toms, they are sellouts, they are race traders, and that goes along with the FBA was birthed from ADOS, because the ADOS started squabbling. White folks started giving ADOS some attention. And so then they started squabbling over the money and shit. And so then it was birthed the bastard child, which is FBA is the bastard child of ADOS. And I don't like entertaining them, shun them. They have nothing of substance to offer. I call that prosperity politics. They have basically assert that the whole future of Black people must rest in getting a shit ton of fiat currency from white folks. And if we don't get that, then there's no hope. So they want to put, and then they want to guarantee white folks, if you give us money, we're going to behave just like you. We are loyal to America. We accept America. We will be enthusiastic participants in the capitalist economy. And thus we are enthusiastic, patriotic participants in U.S. militarism and U.S. genocidal, ecocidal agendas. We will join you. We basically, it's a mercenary ideology. Pay Black people with U.S. citizenships to become mercenaries for white power across the globe. It's fucking disgusting. So fuck him. And Black people are, we are prisoners of war. Black U.S. citizens are prisoners of war. And we are what is called internalized refugees. I was born and raised in Missouri. My ancestors came from the Virginias, were enslaved on Virginian plantations. And then they came with the exodusters and ended up in Kansas and Oklahoma and coming through Louisiana. My family been running all over this country for relief since we got here, since chattel slavery and after chattel slavery. My family ran from slavery. My family ran from Jim Crow. My family ran from and then we had to run from one ghetto to the next, one housing. Then we had to run from COINTELPRO and the CIA crack epidemic. My family, I had to run from that. So we are internally displaced refugees. Internally displaced refugees. We are prisoners of war in this fucking country. So fuck Jason Black. Tell him I said it, because I don't communicate with that piece of shit. I don't know why he still has a voice and standing amongst any black people. Send him over to the white folks. I don't know why we're even engaging with that piece of shit anymore. Don't fucking follow him. Don't give him no fucking attention. But we are internally displaced refugees. And we are, and not only that, the whole fucking country of Liberia was colonized by African American refugees. There is a whole population of African Baptists who are Black American refugees. The black people who fought with the British government during the Civil War are fucking refugees from that. Not to mention all the black people living abroad. You even to this day got black people running to Canada trying to get fucking refugee status away from racism. So black people are internally and globally displaced people. Right now, fucking, I was just in Harlem a few months ago. I was in Brooklyn looking at internally displaced people. You go to Atlanta, you go to Atlanta and go out in the street and say, hey, yo, all right? Because half of fucking Atlanta is Brooklyn, Harlem, New Yorkers. So black people been running all over this country. My brother moved to Atlanta trying to escape. It was in Ohio, escaping the economic erosion and depravity there, and ran to Atlanta for opportunity. My aunt says, black people, my great aunt, my grandma's baby sister, said black people are the wildebeest of the world. Because wildebeest go on these massive migration and all the predatory creatures attack them. They run across one half of the continent and run across to the other. While the gators and the lions and the leopards and all the other predatory animals, the vultures and the hyena just prey on them as they just run from one side to the next, seeking resources. We are the wildebeest of the world, she used to say. And not to insult us, but just to describe our condition, to tell us we got to stop letting people prey and benefit off of us. And one thing we have to do, you notice why, if the wildebeest are crossing a river and one wildebeest gets in the jaws of the croc, all the other wildebeest just run over. When the wildebeest is one of the most powerful animals on the African savanna. If the wildebeest coordinated and united, no animal would be able to take them down or take them on, because when a predator grabs, they scatter. It's a beat to death analogy, but yes, black people are prisoners of war, and there are many. All of us are either actively internally displaced refugees, or we are descendants or have relatives who are in the past or currently. Like I said, my wife came up here from Mississippi. There was literally my wife's maternal grandfather literally left the South fleeing a lynch mob. His whole family was down there and he couldn't go back. My father's uncle got into a dispute with a white man over a hog, and a white man took his hogs and he cut that white man. He's like, if you want these hogs, you're going to have to cut my heart out. The white man said something to him like that. And my great great uncle attempted to do just that. And that's how my father and his people ended up here. I think from Arkansas somewhere. The Great Migration. That's why I don't like that Great Migration. Oh, we just all decided to pack up everything and move to one. That was economic displacement. That was ethnic cleansing. My community right now, south side of Chicago, Bronzeville, is being displaced. Every time I walk out my fucking door, is another white person walking their dog. And they friendly as fuck, because we still outnumber them like 90-1. But I know by the time my younger son graduates high school, they won't be so friendly anymore. They're going to be on their phones calling for every little infraction. But they friendly right now because we still got the numbers. And black folks, If I left out and say, hey, black people, let's mobilize to preserve our presence, preserve our power and status in this community, I can't get black people to, oh, you live where you want to live. We so fractured. But I digress. Stay balanced. Yeah, answering some of these questions.